Some of you might have heard about the Mary thought experiment. It's this famous brain teaser used to argue that physicalism, the idea that everything about the mind can be explained by physical processes, is missing something. The story goes like this. Mary is a brilliant scientist who knows everything about color. She spent her entire life in a black and white room, studying every wavelength, every neuron, every detail of how color works. But she's never actually seen color herself. Then one day, she steps outside and sees red for the first time. And supposedly, she learns something new. Something beyond the physical. Something called qualia. The raw, subjective experience of what red feels like. Now, here's where I push back. Not because I think red is boring, but because the whole setup is flawed. The argument only works if there's one universal experience of red, like a locked box you finally open. But there isn't. Red isn't a fixed thing. You don't experience red. You experience a version of red. Sometimes it's the red of a sunset, or a ripe strawberry, or the flashing lights in your rearview mirror when you're going a little too fast. Red can mean love, anger, passion, danger. It's not just light, it's loaded. Emotionally, culturally, contextually. So when Mary sees red, what exactly is she experiencing? A color swatch? A feeling? A memory she doesn't have yet? The thought experiment treats red like a universal, isolated truth. But in real life, red is always wrapped in something else. Mood, setting, meaning, and that context matters. A lot. Here's another way to think about it. I've eaten tomato sauce my whole life. I know what it smells like, what it tastes like, how it simmers on the stove. But one year I grew a different kind of tomato in my garden, made sauce from scratch. First taste, and boom. It was like a party in my mouth. I didn't just taste sauce, I tasted something new. But it wasn't magic. It was just data my body hadn't processed before. New chemical inputs, same nervous system. My brain updated the file and now I know what that tomato tastes like. Okay, but here's the question the Mary experiment never answers. If experience is so magical, why does it vanish when you're unconscious? If qualia are a separate kind of truth, shouldn't they persist even when you're asleep? Or under anesthesia? But they don't. When the brain shuts down, so does experience. You don't see red, you don't hear music, you don't feel anything at all. No input, no awareness, no qualia. And that leads to something even more revealing. If Mary truly knew everything about red, and if qualia are real, then why couldn't she dream in red? People dream about things they've seen all the time, places, faces, colors. But you can't dream what you've never experienced. Even in dreams, the brain needs raw material to work with. And without sensory input, red simply isn't part of Mary's mental toolkit. So if she knows everything about red, but still can't dream it, that tells us something important. It means red isn't some deep metaphysical truth. It's just a signal she never received. And when she finally gets that signal, her brain does exactly what it's built to do. It fills in the missing piece. That's the real flaw in the experiment. Mary didn't have all the physical knowledge. She had a theory without a data stream. Once she got that data, the circuit completed. Not because qualia descended from the clouds, but because her visual system finally went online. Just like finally tasting that tomato didn't unlock a spiritual dimension, it just gave my brain a new input to process. That's not some magical knowledge gap. It's how sensory systems work. So let's not pretend that seeing red is proof of something beyond the physical. It's proof that experience requires input. It's proof that qualia, if they even exist, aren't floating truths. They're brain states, processed, felt, remembered. And without that input, there's nothing to process. Mary didn't learn something non-physical. She just got the missing input, like opening a new file on a hard drive she already had. That's not philosophy. That's biology. Thanks for watching. See you next time.